Well, hello. It's Friday already. Oh my God, the time is going by so fast. It's 12:09 in the afternoon. I woke up about an hour and 15 minutes ago. I think I went to bed before midnight last night, so I was pretty worn out. I will say that I was mentally drained. There's a lot to think about in this situation, and when I think about all of it, I will tell you that it becomes mentally taxing. I'm thinking about some of the people that I encountered, not just in person, but over the phone. I remember like about a year ago, I was looking for work and independently, and I had spoken to a lady on the phone, basically asking to speak to the business owner or something like that. Anyway, she was so hostile for no reason. So you wonder, how these people could be so hateful. Why so much hate towards a person who's innocent, I often wonder, how is it that the majority of people have this split mind? And because you'll see people who watch movies where there's a victim, such as myself or whatever, and they'll have sympathy for that person. Like they'll watch movies that I don't know, like the Holocaust or something. And they'll, get upset and yet they'll participate in something very similar. The fact that people don't really understand their actions and their motivations is very terrifying for people like me. I'm actually becoming more and more terrified of people as time goes on, because I realize that there's a lot of sickness out there, a lot of sickness, and a lot of emotional imbalanced people running around. So I did think a little bit more about who is loyal in all of this. And I was watching a video this morning that kind of prompted that thought. It's very difficult for people to be good-hearted people in a world like this, where ignorance and a lot of ignorance is so common among people. They have a view of what they believe is right, and it's erroneous, but they can't understand it because they don't ask questions. They don't think for themselves. So the world is becoming very dangerous. And sadly, the United States of America, the everyday citizen, is not as American as they'd like to believe that they are. I don't know. It really does. It makes me wonder sometimes. But yesterday I was extremely tired and I just needed some rest. I finally calmed down and got some sleep, which I needed. And really, to be honest with you, I could use some more sleep. Most targeted individuals have a problem sleeping because the anxiety is too much. Okay, you're constantly wondering what's going on around you, what's going to happen next. Who are these people? Why are they doing this to you? And then when you figure out why they're doing it to you, you wonder why they're not stopping doing it to you, because you didn't do anything wrong. I've done nothing wrong at all, except for, of course, lie to my husband. That was it. And then lo and behold, this man turns out to be a piece of shit. So, and I'm not trying to bash him. I'm really not. Just because I have a slight form of compassion for his situation doesn't mean I want to be his friend, okay? He is a controlled person, and he's a product of his environment, of what he was raised in. He's a dangerous person, Things could have been better for him, But it is what it is. So, anyway, I'm committed to not talking about that family anymore, as well as my own blood relations. But I do wonder sometimes, how is it that a person could do this to their own family? You wonder, how could they do something like that? you know. I don't believe in unconditional love. I don't. I believe love has its conditions, you know, and to a lot of people, okay? I'm able to give unconditional love because I'm the kind of person who understands human nature, you know what I mean? I can understand sometimes what people do and why they did it, you know? But I think sometimes, like families in general, I'm talking in general terms, they have a way of living that they assume that everybody else is going to just fall into that line, you know? It's never a spoken thing. It's just something that they expect from you. And the thing is, like, when you are raising a family, it's really important for you to communicate those expectations to a person. Now, all these years, you know, my family used to tell me, you know, by the time you're 17, you can choose your own religion. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, I got these people, well, it was in the past, these people trying to cram some bullshit down my throat that, you know, I could see right through, and I would never accept that, ever. And then, you know, growing up, you know, my mom was like, well, you could do this by the time you're, you know, I was told, you know, when I was 13 years old, I can wear lipstick. And then by the time I was 16, I could wear whatever I wanted. And I did. You know what I mean? Of course, I would always try to put my makeup on, you know, when I was 13. I put the whole thing on. I mean, I loved it. Thought it was really cool. And that was my family. That was the rule in the house, okay? And then you got my sister, you know, who's sitting here trying to act like, oh, well, you know, she can't do that. Yes, I can do that, okay? I can. It's my right as a woman, okay? It is what it is, okay? Some people enjoy that sort of stuff. You know, like, some women go above and beyond with that sort of stuff. You know, I would say that my use of cosmetics is very, very small. You know, like, I don't spend a bunch of money on that kind of stuff. A lot of women go out and they get facials and stuff. I've never had a facial. I think I did many, many years ago, back in the 90s when I was working for a department store. I think there was this lady who, yeah, she did. I had one that she coaxed me into getting because, you know, I guess she wanted to work on somebody of color. She never really had the opportunity to do that before. And so, you know, she wanted to, you know, skin peels and stuff like that. You know, I don't go in for all that stuff, okay? But there's a lot of women who do, okay? There's a lot of women who get, white women who get tan, they get tans, you know? So they want to single out one person, you know? It's absolutely ridiculous to me, you know? So they contradict, you know, the so-called rules in the house. But the fact is, whether those rules were communicated to me or they weren't communicated to me, thing is, I'm over the age of 18, okay? So I don't understand why they would involve themselves, or families involve themselves in people's lives the way that they do. Because, well, I do, because it's a form of narcissism. Narcissism is is quite prevalent in this day and age, you know, even among American people, you know. Nobody has the right to enforce or inflict their lifestyle on somebody. And so, I like living my life the way that it is, you know. I'm very selective about the people I want to, I'm so sorry. The people I want to deal with, you know. You got to deal with people that, you know, don't have that sort of behavior. You have to interact with narcissists on a daily basis. I mean, that's very common. You know, so you just kind of keep it polite and keep it easy and just keep it moving, you know. But, you know, hi, bye. You know, if they ask you if they need something, you need something at the store, you do what you have to do. But you have to have, you know, use discernment when it comes to people who could be close to you, who you can confide in, you know. And unfortunately, the people that I knew in my past were all people who were connected to, I would call it the monsters. You know, I'm referring to those families. And I don't want anything to do with that, you know. So I have to be very careful about my social interactions, you know. I'm probably going to be more careful about my social interactions more so now than I ever been before, because I don't want any more of it, you know. And I think I made that quite clear. I don't want anything to do with these people at all. I'm tired. I don't have anything to say to them. You might want to. I don't want it, you know. And it often makes me wonder, like, you know, how out of control this whole thing got. this whole thing got so out of control that I don't even understand the purpose really behind it. Obviously, they were upset because I lied to my husband. Okay, and then it spins into something else that really I can't define it. I can't define it at all. Like, I'm assuming people were accusing me of living a particular lifestyle, but I'm not living that lifestyle. And then it almost seems like they're angry because I'm not living that lifestyle. I don't get it. I don't understand. Because I think once it becomes thrown to the mob, I guess, people lose sight of the original purpose. And the original purpose was to what? Punish me for lying to a man that is basically deranged? I don't get it, strange. Very strange. And like I said, I take responsibility for the things that I've done, in the past. I have. I mean, everything that I've done in my past that I realized that was wrong, I've corrected it. You know what I mean? And it doesn't take very much for me to understand what I've done wrong, I've done some things that were wrong in the past. Everybody has. But I learned from it. I'm not the kind of person who likes to constantly repeat my mistakes. So, oh, God, look how tired I am. I am so drained and so tired. I mean, it is emotionally taxing, I will tell you. It is an emotionally taxing thing to be a targeted individual. It is. You never know what you're going to encounter. Job interviews makes you sick. Looking for work makes you sick. But you have to keep plugging on. You have to keep going. The thing is that, you have to take unconventional approaches to your work search because, you're not like everybody else in the situation, okay? You can't expect somebody like me who's been traumatized multiple times, gone through this whole series of being betrayed by a bunch of freaks that I don't owe anything to. I don't owe these people shit, right? You got psychotic people that you might encounter, and you don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? So you don't know, do you live openly as a targeted individual? Do you talk about being a targeted individual? Everybody in this town and everywhere else knows that I'm a targeted individual, and they know the stupid reasons why. Even though, personally, at this point, it makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. None. What happened on Facebook in 2008 is all bullshit. It was just a letter and nothing ever happened. So, I'm trying to figure out exactly how that comes into play. And what's the connection between that person, I'm referring to that girl, the catty girl, and the connection with the involvement, I believe, with my family or his family or something along those lines. And so once this person has been discovered, which I believe that she is, then what now? What now? I've gone through all of this for absolutely no reason whatsoever. None. Okay? So what now? What happens to these people that wreak havoc in other people's lives? And they pay no consequence for it? I mean, really, these people should be blacklisted. They should be the ones who have their lives, constantly being turned over upside down and inside out. Wow. You wonder about how people really are and how dangerous it is to live in this world, And that's something that targets are very well aware of. I mean, that's something that's constantly in the back of their mind. They can't trust anybody. I cannot trust a single person in my life. Can't do it. You know what I mean? I have no one that I can trust. So, I'm not interested in being a part of any entourage, like, for example, the entourage that relates to the farmer or Karen Johnson or any of these people. I don't want to be a part of it. They know their role. They know what they're supposed to do. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? How is it that they could create all of these problems and not pay any consequence for it? You know? And then they were so sure of themselves. They were so overconfident in their little, what do you call it, endeavors to try to, you know, affect the life of somebody who was innocent. You know? Completely innocent. Mind-boggling. It really is. I've got a lot to do today. I mean, I've got to keep my house clean. Next week, I got to start looking for work again. And today, I just said, you know, I'm not going to look for work today. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to relax. I'm going to get my head straight. I'm tired. I'm extremely tired. You know, I should have been back at work a long time ago. You know, this is the kind of bullshit that happens when you're dealing with bullshit. You know, you're dealing with shit that shouldn't have ever happened in the first place. You know. It's stupid to think that somebody's going to change career paths after doing something for so long, or saying that, you know, she needs to do something else. Why the fuck would I want to do anything else when this is what I like to do, what I'm comfortable doing? You know what I mean? And then the arrogance of these people, you know, the arrogance of them making up somebody's mind as if these people don't have any ideas on their own. You know, oh God. When I think about how big-headed these people are, I could never sit here and want to be friends with these people. So I'm glad, you know, that I made those videos to make it very clear. There's nothing to say to these people. And I'm the kind of person, I can forgive people to a certain extent, but this is unforgivable. It's completely unforgivable, you know, which means, like, you know, for example, my blood relations or whatever. All the sorries in the world can't take back all the years that were taken from me. You can't make that up. You know what I mean? The only thing these people can do is just get out of my life. That's it. That's all you can do. You know? You can't abuse a person to that extent and think that it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay at all. You know? And sorry isn't going to cut it. It's not going to take back the years that I struggled, you know, in my 20s. It's not, or the childhood that was taken from me. It's not going to take back, you know, the years that I was raising my son, which could have been a beautiful time. It could have been a very good time for me. You know, I could have come home with a very happy disposition. I would have been able to be a better mother. Okay, but I was dealing, everything that happened to me was all external shit. All of it. Okay, so you can't turn around and expect me to want to be close or friends. You just can't, you know? And to think so is just absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so I got a lot of ground to cover. I've got a lot of things I need to do. My job search is going to be unconventional. Why? Because this whole situation should have never happened in the first place. Should have never happened, okay? Everyone in this community, as well as everyone else outside of the community, knows good and well I'm a targeted individual, okay? But I'm not trying to, you know, what do you call it, stir the pot. So it's not something I need to bring up. But if people are going to ask me certain questions, then I'm going to be honest and upfront about it, you know, in a very polite, professional way. Because this should have never happened, you know. I'm in a situation that doesn't add up. You know what I mean? And it's beyond it's not something that I created on my own. So anyway, I've been running my mouth long enough. I got to do my hair, and I need to go walk outside the door. I got errands to do, which I should have been doing a while ago. And I've been like letting shit slide, and I'm not happy about it. But I need to regain some strength here. Wrapping up this video, be back with another one later.